guys, welcome to a monthly pickup video for June 2015. Pretty much slim pickings in the month of June, not too much going on, but I did manage to buy a bunch of retro titles, which really made me happy. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes I'll look up and see some really good deals, and that happens. So expect separate videos for those retro games coming up rather soon. But in the month of June, I got a new system, got an accessory, and of course a couple of games. So let's jump into it. I guess I'll start off with the lonesome accessory that I have to share with you guys. Back in February, it might have been January, Club Nintendo said they weren't going to be a thing anymore. So they threw up their last rewards, and my last reward came in the mail from Club Nintendo. It's kind of sad. This is the Legend of Zelda 3DS pouch. It's really nice quality, nice little 3DS pouch. Yeah, like I said, it's sad to see Club Nintendo go, but I'm really excited to see what Nintendo has to offer for their next new service. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we'll hear more about that soon. Lately, and this seems to always be the case, I'm always playing a handheld game, a portable game, and but lately, you know, just portable games have been in heavy rotation for me. And I told myself, you know what, Steph, it's about time you purchase one of these bad boys. It's the Retron 5, the Hyperkin Retron 5. Got it off of Amazon. I got the gray version because it was cheaper compared to the all black version. I don't really care what color it is, as long as it plays my retro games. You know, that's all that really matters, and the Retron 5 does that rather well. The main reason I wanted to get the Retron 5 was because it allows you to play Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games, you know, all through HDMI. It's crazy. Right here's where you stick the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance game in. It's ridiculous. It also lets you play Super Nintendo games, Genesis games, and Famicom games. But the main thing was definitely the Game Boy functionality. Now I can play Game Boy games all right on my television and capture footage, because that's what I wanted to do for a while now. I have a lot of fond memories behind the Game Boy. I mean, that was my jam back in the day, and it still is. And I kind of want to share my memories with you guys. So it's really easy to capture footage with the Retron 5. So look forward to some cool, you know, like memory videos relating around Super Nintendo games, but mostly Game Boy games. But yeah, I did a random stream a couple of weekends ago with this bad boy. I streamed some Super Nintendo games, and that seemed to work rather well. So if you're interested in my random Twitch streams, you guys should go ahead and follow me on Twitch. But so far so good. Really liking the Retron 5. The only thing I don't like about it is the controller, and it doesn't really matter because you can use original controllers with the system. So I just need to pull out my Super Nintendo controller and I'll be good to go. This thing, it's just way too clicky. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's just really clicky and it's uncomfortable. It's not the right way to play these retro games. So let's jump into the games. I only have 3 games to share with you guys, and the first one is from the Nintendo 3DS. It's Lord of Magna, Made in Heaven. It's published by Xseed, hence the cool little collector's edition box. It comes with an exclusive soundtrack, which is pretty cool, soundtrack CD. And it was developed by Marvelous. Prior to the release of the game, I knew nothing about it. Like, honestly, I didn't. Then I saw that Marvelous was streaming it over on Twitch, so I checked out the stream, and it really, like, it caught my attention. I mean, there's a little bit of fan service in the game, but it's a beautiful looking game. But the cool thing about Lord of Magna is definitely the combat system, and I haven't had a chance to try it out yet. I haven't had a chance to play the game, but the combat looked really different and interesting. It almost looked like a game of bowling, but there's some turn-based like strategy thrown in there. It was kind of strange and different, which definitely made it enough to warrant a purchase for me. So picked it up. Don't know when I'll get around to playing it, but I'm glad that I have it in my collection. Definitely want to try it out sometime soon. Now this is hilarious, guys. This next game is no stranger to my monthly pickup videos. It's the limited edition of Final Fantasy X 10-2. It's the HD remaster for the PlayStation 4. Now, I currently own this game on the PlayStation, both games on the PlayStation 2. I have the Vita version of the remaster, and I have the PlayStation 3 version. Now I have the PS4 version. But to me, it kind of all makes sense. That's because Final Fantasy X is my favorite Final Fantasy game. And I know some of you guys are probably like, what? I don't get it. Final Fantasy X is the worst. But to me, 10 is my favorite. It's the first game that I ever played, the first Final Fantasy game that I ever played and completed. Because prior to me playing Final Fantasy X, I had only played the original Final Fantasy game on the Nintendo, and I wasn't digging it. You know, the age that I was maybe like 8 years old. I didn't get it. And it kind of turned me off from RPGs in general until the PlayStation 2 came out, Final Fantasy X, picked it up, and I absolutely loved it. You know, really dig Final Fantasy X. So crazy. I know it's crazy. I own this game so many times, but it really does mean a lot to me. And honestly, the only reason why I purchased it was because Best Buy had like a deal of the day where it was $34.99. All right. And I was like, that's awesome. On top of the 20% discount, I ended up paying less than $30 for the game. And in my eyes, that's totally worth it. Fantastic game, guys. Last but not least, we have the game that I've spent the most time with. It's Batman Arkham Knight. I got the PlayStation 4 version just because there's some exclusive content on the Sony platform. You get the Scarecrow Nightmare missions, if I'm not mistaken. It's only available on the PlayStation 4, so it's pretty cool. I went with this one. Yeah, this came out the day that I came back from Hawaii. You know, we literally got off the plane, got our luggage, got the car, started driving home, and we stopped off at GameStop to pick this up. That's how serious it was. I also got the collector's edition strategy guide because I have the other strategy guides, and you know, I'm a sucker for these things. It's actually come in handy so far. I've used it for some of the Riddler stuff, and to find some of those trophies and things like that. You guys know what I'm talking about if you played the game. Gosh, some of those Riddler parts are, man, I just scratched my head a little bit. Kind of made me feel like I was stupid, and then when you figure it out, it's just like plain as day. It's awesome. Love that feeling. But anyway, yeah, Arkham Knight, really good. I enjoyed Arkham Asylum. Really enjoyed Arkham City. Couldn't really get into Origins. I think I only played like an hour or two of that game. It just felt off. It didn't feel right. I'm glad Rocksteady is back. They brought it with this game. I'm really digging it. It wasn't like that at first though. I had an issue with the game. And that was mainly the Batmobile. You know, I had an issue with the Batmobile because in the beginning of the game, it relies heavily on the Batmobile. And I stayed away from previews and stuff like that just because I didn't want things to be spoiled for me, because I was really looking forward to this game. But the Batmobile, the controls, they're horrible until I figured out that you can change the controls, but it's not even worth it to me. I've gotten used to the horrible controls for the Batmobile. But yeah, the controls, I just didn't really like the controls for the driving. It's kind of too hard to drive. And it seems like the Batmobile is really more focused, or at least in the beginning of the game, it was more or less used for puzzle solving. And that kind of bummed me out because, I mean, this is Batman we're talking about here. He has all these cool gadgets, you know, that he can use at his dispense. So the fact that you're doing all this stuff with the Batmobile instead of using Batman's gadgets just didn't sit right with me. But as I played, you know, through the game a little bit more, things started to change, and God, I'm really loving the game. I really enjoy it. I'm not even that far into it. I've just been doing a lot of the side stuff, roaming around, you know, just having fun with it. I think I'm in like on chapter 6 or something like that, so I have a ways to go. But I'm really interested in seeing just like how the story plays out. The story's really good in Arkham Knight. Like, surprisingly, it's really good. It looks great. And like I said, there's a ton of things to do. Lots of side content. Anyone out there that's interested in open world games, definitely should consider this one. So that's everything that I picked up in June. I would love to hear what you guys picked up in June. What are you guys currently playing? Even better, let me know what you guys think about the things I just shared with you. I want to thank all of you for watching this video, and I'll check you next time.